we continue to follow that breaking news out of Memphis, where they released the video of Tyre Nichols being beaten by now 5 former officers there who are now charged with murder.
And earlier today, before that video was released, Tyre Nichols' mother spoke to the media in an emotional news conference.
I've never seen the video, but what I've heard is very horrific, very horrific. And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it.
She also called for peaceful protests in the streets and says she has not even had time to grieve her son's death. Now, for more on this, let's bring in psychologist Dr. Moe Gelebart, Director of Behavioral Health at Torrance Memorial Medical Center, to talk about processing anxiety and grief. Dr. Gelebart, thank you so much for being with us on this Friday night. Sad to say that you were with us Monday night to talk about how to process the trauma from the weekend's mass shooting. Now we have the other developments and other big traumatic events like the release of this video. Where do we even begin?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's this onslaught of just events constantly working against us feeling good or feeling a sense of well-being, and driving us into despair. We have natural disasters and crime and political strife, random mass shootings, illnesses like COVID, and just so many things that just play upon us. And it's no wonder that we have the highest levels of depression and anxiety, and that mental health providers, offices are just packed and difficult to get any kind of help. So it's difficult. It's very difficult.
And it's still too expensive and too inaccessible for a lot of people to get mental health, which is something we could talk about for a long time, the reforms that are needed to make that more accessible for people. But since you're here, you can do some help for the people that are watching. We've got some tips we want to put up on the screen. The first one you say is focus on is, not if.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
We call it we try to assist people to not catastrophize, which means thinking the worst and thinking about, I call it what if. And I ask people to change what if to what is, because what if begins to roll down this downward spiral of painful and difficult images that we have. And what if this happens, and what if that happens, and if that happens, what if this? And before we know it, we're in some place that's in deep despair. And so I ask people, stop and just ask yourself, what is? What is what's happening today and what's going on in the present. And the beauty of that, or the benefit of that really, is it allows you to do something about what is. You can do something about your situation today. We can't do anything about something that has not occurred way off in the future. So it's important to not catastrophize.
Another one of your tips is to limit exposure to it, limit media. So I think we understand what that means, just so that you don't get overwhelmed even more so. I'm going to move on to tip 3, though, because we don't have a lot of time. But accept negative feelings. I think this one is really important. What do you mean by that?
Correct. Well, it's really important to understand that whatever we feel is correct. It's a product of how we think, but we don't have wrong feelings. And lots of times when we have difficult, painful feelings, we begin to doubt the validity of those feelings. So it's really important to understand that what we feel is real, what we feel is correct, and we don't need to self-judge or beat ourselves up for it. And we have to also accept that some things in life bring negative feelings, and we can process them and work them through. And it actually may be constructive and productive and healing to do so, rather than just try to run from them.
Yeah, and a productive thing you say right now is to get exercise and spend time with positive people. And that's something that we all can control as well. Thank you so much for being here. We all need to talk through this, and I hope people also can focus on the good in the world, because there is so much more good than there is bad, even though oftentimes the bad gets the most attention. We appreciate you.
You hit another point, which is perspective. Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Doctor.